You've heard the whispers. There's a brash new force in women's basketball who's making almost as many headlines off the court as she is on it. She's bold, she's loud, and she's turning every game into a can't-miss spectacle. Her name? Angel Reese. But don't be fooled into thinking you already know her story. Because behind her viral taunts and unapologetic interviews lies a tangled web of contradictions, one that's sparking heated debates among fans, players, even sports legends. Is she single-handedly revolutionizing women's hoops, or drowning out its brilliance with nonstop drama? Are we witnessing the rise of a true superstar or a manufactured persona built on shock value? In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly why Angel Reese is both magnetic and maddening, and why, for better or worse, everyone can't stop talking about her. If you think you've heard it all, buckle up. The buzz began with a single game that showcased Angel Reese at her absolute best. In a heated 3-on-3 matchup, she put up numbers that had jaws dropping, piling on points, snagging rebounds, and leaving defenders in the dust. Observers who'd once dismissed her as all talk and no substance had to rethink their stance. For that moment, the conversation was about her skill, not her swagger. And it wasn't just her stat line drawing attention. The brand new 3-on-3 league itself is a bold experiment, bringing fresh energy to women's hoops and drawing in new fans. Angel's breakout moment under these lights came just when critics wondered if she could truly dominate at the professional level. But the real intrigue set in when the final buzzer sounded, and she stepped off the court. Because with Angel Reese, there's always more happening beyond the scoreboard. After the game, when most players might shake hands or wave politely to the crowd, Angel turned the court into her personal stage. She clapped in opponents' faces and exchanged pointed words with the stands. Some spectators loved the fiery display, applauding her for wearing her emotions openly. Others felt it crossed the line into unsportsmanlike behavior. In a sport often criticized for lacking visibility, bold personalities can ignite interest. Social media instantly lit up with clips of Reese's brash post-game antics. Fans on one side cheered her on, arguing that men's sports celebrate even more flamboyant celebrations daily. On the other side, critics felt her actions were disrespectful, overshadowing her remarkable performance. The chatter only grew louder when people discovered this wasn't an isolated event. Angel Reese had been walking this tightrope of admiration and outrage for quite some time. She openly calls herself a villain, declaring that she thrives off the booze and negativity. According to her, it fuels her competitive fire. At first glance, it's a gutsy stance, owning the role of the provocateur in a league still finding its mainstream footing. But if you've followed her story long enough, you know there's another angle. Not long after she stirs up the pot, she'll often pivot, talking about how tough it is to live under constant scrutiny and how she feels targeted by the media. This whiplash between unapologetic trash talker and misunderstood underdog has led fans to wonder, does she want to be the fearsome foe, or does she just crave empathy? One day, she's telling the world she's built for this and can't be shaken. The next day, she's on camera lamenting that her critics don't respect her journey. For viewers tuning in, it's a spectacle as confusing as it is captivating. When Angel Reese vents about the WNBA's salary issues, it's impossible not to notice the gleaming brand deals and stylish outfits she flaunts on social media. She's been very open about her endorsements, insinuating that she doesn't really need a professional league paycheck to fund her lifestyle. Then, in another breath, she claims she can't cover basic expenses on her WNBA salary. This contradictory narrative raises eyebrows. Is she genuinely raising awareness about the pay gap in women's sports? Or is she simply crafting a storyline where she's both a high-profile star and an underpaid victim? Endorsement deals are a reality for successful athletes, especially those with strong personalities who can command a following on social platforms. So when she laments financial struggles, it leaves many scratching their heads. Yet, it also keeps her relevant and keeps people talking. For better or worse, Angel Reese's brand is built on this tension between prosperity and struggle. Love her or hate her, Angel Reese has an undeniable knack for drawing eyes to the game. At a time when women's basketball is often overshadowed by other sports, her controversial style has brought in new viewers, many of whom tune in just to see what she'll do or say next. It's a phenomenon known as hate watching, and sometimes it can be just as powerful as genuine fandom. Thanks to high-octane personalities like Reese, the women's game is punching its way into mainstream conversations more than ever. And it's not just drama. It's also about representation, empowerment, and the celebration of female athletes who refuse to remain in the background. On social media, you'll find young players mimicking her brash style or quoting her fiery comments. Some see it as a turning point, an era where women's basketball is not just appreciated but openly celebrated, even if it comes packaged in a swirl of controversy. The tension between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has been brewing since their iconic NCAA clash. On one side stands Clark, known for her sharp shooting and near telepathic court vision. On the other side is Reese, a rebounding machine with a flair for drama. Their fiery exchanges on and off the court keep fans speculating about the next face-off, which everyone expects to be a huge ratings magnet whenever they meet in the WNBA. Rivalries have always boosted fan interest in sports. Bird versus Magic. Serena versus Sharapova. Rivalries that split audiences also amplify media attention, and this one is no different. Reese's knack for stirring conversation pairs well with Clark's calm, lethal precision. Every social media post, every interview snippet, is dissected by fans searching for hidden jabs. The stage seems set for a matchup that transcends normal game day hype, a spectacle that could further catapult women's basketball into mainstream headlines. If you only read the headlines, you think Angel Reese was more of a showstopper than a basketball player. Media coverage inevitably focuses on her latest taunt, her newest quote, or the drama du jour. People say she's overshadowing her own skill set, that her on-court talent gets lost in the chaos. But is this an intentional strategy, or just an unfortunate byproduct? Some analysts suggest it's a bit of both. It's easy to see how constant coverage, positive or negative, keeps a player relevant. The more she courts controversy, the more cameras follow her. However, there's a risk. The day her performance doesn't back up the brash attitude, the tide of public opinion could turn harshly against her. Athletes with larger-than-life personalities walk a precarious tightrope between legendary and infamous. Angel Reese might have soared off that diving board with the assumption she'd always land on her feet. But every polarizing star eventually faces a tipping point. As Angel Reese continues to build her brand around controversy, critics wonder how long she can keep it up. Eventually, every athlete confronts new challenges, injuries, a slump in performance, or simply the emergence of a fresh face in the league. Will she adapt, refining her game and letting her stats speak louder than her microphone? Or will she double down on the theatrics, banking on the idea that any publicity is good publicity? There's also the issue of leadership. Many fans would love to see her channel that fire into uplifting her teammates and inspiring the next generation in a more positive way. But if the drama keeps overshadowing the basketball, she might find her supporters asking if it's really worth it. Either way, the path she chooses will shape more than just her own legacy. It will influence how fans, sponsors, and even the league itself view women's basketball stars for years to come. Angel Reese is a living paradox, a deeply talented athlete who can't seem to decide if she's the villain nobody wants or the misunderstood hero everyone needs. She's changed the conversation about women's basketball, drawing unprecedented attention with her brashness, emotional speeches, and contradiction-laden interviews. Whether that's a good thing or bad depends on who you ask. So, is she a magnetic force pulling new fans into the sport? Or is she an agent of chaos distracting from the real beauty of the game? Ultimately, it might be both at once. One thing's for certain, the Angel Reese saga is far from over. If this much drama has surfaced so early in her professional journey, just imagine what's coming next. Share your thoughts in the comments, drop a like if you want more deep dives, and tap the notification bell so you won't miss the next chapter in women's basketball's most unpredictable story. Until then, keep watching, because with Angel Reese around, there's never a dull moment.